Hello everyone and welcome to the second part of human resource development. So continuity of the last session, we were discussing about the different framework for the culture. We were discussing about competing values framework. This framework has divided the culture into four types: clan, autarky, market, hierarchy. And this is on the basis of two polarities: internal focus and integration versus external focus and in differentiation, flexibility and discretion, and the versus stability and control. So before I explain all the different types of the culture, let's see what is this polarity and how it is being divided. So if you can see this flexibility and discretion, stability and control, so these are the polarities which are opposite to each other. Similarly, we have internal focus and external focus. So the clan, on these polarities, the culture can be divided into four types: clan, autarky, market, hierarchy. So clan is between internal focus, flexibility and discretion. To understand it in the detail, this is the chart which is really very important from exam point of view. First three points are really very important which you have to learn because the questions are directly asked from this. Now what do you mean by clan culture? Clan culture specifically represents a culture which is between the flexibility and internal focus and integration. So it is more of friendly in nature. Clan is relative to friendly. A culture which focuses on mentorship and the teamwork, it is in clan culture. Now in detail, it is collaborative culture where people work as in family. They have the strong bonds, they have loyalty, tradition. So this is the clan culture. When we move to autarky, the term autarky has been derived from the word ad hoc. Ad hoc means temporary in nature. So autarky is something which is innovative, something which is keep on changing. Temporary something is always keeps on changing. It's not fixed. This type of culture focuses on dynamism, that is changing, acceptance of the change and innovation of the environment. They want to enter into the market because they want to innovate. So their focus is innovation. Market culture, they focus on competition. They want to get maximum cover of the competition. They want to understand their main goal of the business is to cover the market. They are competitive in nature. Whereas a hierarchy culture, as the name itself is saying, there would be a proper hierarchy, proper procedure, rules, guidelines for following all the things. This type of culture is common in government sector where their things are very fixed. Everything is being adhered on the basis of rules and regulation. So you need to remember the polarities between which they lie, and for that this chart is very important. Market culture, see, it's competition and growth. Hierarchy, structure and stability, these are the polarities. So now autarky is risk it to get the biscuit, means you are something who is ready to accept uncertainty. You are ready to take the risk. You focus on creativity, you focus on innovation, you focus on new ideas. So that is autarky. Here we are into win it, means competitive in nature. Complete organization is competitive in nature. Even the employees, they have competition between them, so they will go to any extent to achieve their goals. Hierarchy, everything is as per the hierarchy, everything is prioritized as per the rules, regulations and so on. So very important for different types of the culture. Now, another important term is Trompenaars for diversity culture. So, Trompenaar has divided again the culture into egalitarian, hierarchical, people-oriented and task-oriented. This four ends he have divided culture as incubator, guided missile, family, Eiffel Tower. So, incubator are the one who are person-oriented. See, you can say egalitarian are something which is an environment which creates an equal opportunity. People oriented, which focus on people's interest. So between them is incubator. So incubator, alternate word is person oriented. They focus on person. Here, individual goals are more important rather than the organization. And hence the individual comes first and then comes the organization. They have self-realization, commitment to oneself and the process of recognition. Guided missile, it is equal opportunity but task. So it is the power of knowledge. It is task orientation, where everything, every opportunity or every thing would be decided on the basis of task, on the basis of performance, on the basis of objectives. Then comes your Eiffel Tower. This is very rigid form of the culture where everything is between task and hierarchy. So there would be role, it is an role orientation, everything on basis of position, there would be proper job description, rules and procedure, and audit and productivity. Family, like you have your own family, you have head of the family, then there is an hierarchy for the family, but everyone in the family is related to each other. One person as the head of the family has the power to make the decision. Same it is here, power orientation. So the head of the family would have the power. Personal relationship is there, entrepreneurial initiative is accepted, affinity, power to the person. So this is again four different type given by your Trompenaars. So incubator may be also called as fulfillment oriented culture. They will have an emotional commitment. Example is Sweden. They focus on self expression and self fulfillment. Guided missile, also called as project oriented. So they focus on task. They are usually in the form of team. Impersonal team approach, the team can be formed to different groups, different departments. Loyalty to the profession, project greater than to the company. Here individuals are greater than company, here project is greater than the company. Next comes your family. This is also called as power oriented, where hierarchical father knows the best. So head of the family would be a person who is called as the a head, and he would be having all power. So power would be given to a person who is a fatherly figure. It would have a home like atmosphere. Person would be comfortable, working, loyalty, welfare, and everything. Example, like in India, we have very great attachment to our organization. Eiffel Tower, role oriented. Everything that matter here is your role, your position, your task. So structure and hierarchies are more important. Leader is the boss, not the father. Here the leader is boss. He will give you the order. He won't consider or won't think about your welfare. He will give you the order and you have to obey it. It is highly bureaucratic, rule dominant, roles before the people, symbolic of machine age. So like our scientific management given by F.W. Taylor, that was an Eiffel Tower. Example, Germany and Austria. Another important model for the culture is Great Hofstede's culture. So Great have proposed three major, five, or you can say 5 to 6 major factors, which are the dimensions of the culture for the international organization. Power distance index, collectivism versus individualism, uncertainty avoidance index, femininity and masculinity, short term versus long term orientation. Now, what is power distance index? It is a degree to which the power is distributed equally or unequally. So the organization where the power is distributed equally, it is democratic in nature, decentralized, or participation, means everyone is getting a chance to make decision. But a organization where power is distributed unequally means there would be only one centralized position which would be responsible for decision making. So this unequal distribution of power is called as high power distance index, and this equal distribution of power is called as low power distance index, means they focus here more on power authority being with one. So this type of culture is inequity in the power distribution. They accept bureaucracy, as bureaucracy is all about rank, it's all about specialization, it's all about giving an authority to the person who is having all you can say efficiencies, all the specialization. Whereas low power index focuses on decentralization, decision making responsibility is given even to the employees, the structure is flat. Now there are two types of structure, narrow and your, or you can call them as tall and the flat structure. Tall structure is this, one subordinate, one superior. So this is in bureaucracy, that is high power. Flat is one superior and number of the subordinate under him. So decision making is being distributed among the people. So this is the flat structure. This is first dimension. Individualism and collectivism. Individualism where focus is on achieving the personal goal. The image of this type of culture is I am important, no one else. So individualism give more importance to gain the personal goal, whereas collectivism, here we are important, we as in team, we as in group are important. So collectivism, group is more important, well-being of group is more important. Uncertainty avoidance index. Uncertainty avoidance. So when I say uncertain, uncertain means something which is not clear, something very ambiguous, something about which I don't know. So the culture which is at high uncertainty avoidance index, it means that it is highly unable to, it is highly avoiding the uncertainty. What it is doing? Highly avoiding uncertainty, because it's not ready to accept the uncertain situation, not accept to ready the unknown situation. For this, what they do, they have low tolerance for uncertainty and ambiguity. That's why they frame the strict rules and regulation. Then we have low uncertainty avoidance index. This is, they are ready to accept uncertain situation. They are ready to accept the challenges. So this kind of culture has high tolerance of this uncertainty and risk taking, and they are ready to accept the new things. So they have lower or low rules and regulations. There are not so rigid form of you can say the government, or not so rigid form of the system. So uncertainty avoidance index, it is high when the culture is at low tolerance, it is low when the culture is at high tolerance. Next is masculinity and femininity. So masculinity here, femininity is not on the basis of the gender as male and female, but the characteristics of the gender. So masculine is mostly tough and femininity is tender. Masculine culture focuses on materialistic achievement. Like in a family, when we talk about masculine role, it is usually being done by father. So father or masculine people, father, brother, elderly, male person of the family, they are responsible for achieving materialistic, monetary needs of the family. The same happens here. Whereas when it comes to femininity, like we have the women of the house, they focus on what? Culture, they focus on nurturing, the caring of the family. Same, the culture with the femininity, they are more focusing on quality of life, nurturing, modesty, fluid gender roles. Next is your long term orientation versus short term orientation. Long term, this type of culture focus on achieving long term goals, and for that they focus or emphasizes on persistence, perseverance, because without consistency, without persistence, you won't be able to achieve long term goals. They focus on long term future, whereas short term orientation, they want or involve immediate or the quick results. They focus on short goals, right? As per the tradition, they just want to achieve the short goal. Later on, short, so short goals will help them to achieve the long, but their main focus is to deliver short term success or gratification of places of stronger emphasis on present rather than future. So their main focus is present rather than future. So these are the 5 dimensions of the culture given by Hofstede, which is really very important. Now we have finished up culture. Now moving to the climate. Whatever culture the organization has, what is culture? The value, belief, attitude of the value, belief, ethics that is being followed in the culture. Remember, the culture give rise to the climate. The way the organization would be having the culture, the value, belief, in the same manner it would be creating the policies, procedure, and so on. So let's say if an employer is having the culture, or he believe that my employees should be participating in the decision making. So when he is having this belief that employees should be participating in the decision making, he would make the policies for workers participation in management. He would have the method, he would have the system which is helping for the employees to participate. So always remember, culture creates the climate. So what is the climate now? So how would I say that my organizational climate is very supportive? So when as an employee I perceive, whatever I perceive about my policies, procedure, and practices being carried out in the organization, that is called as HR climate or HRD climate. So it is the perception, the employees. So what is perception? So whatever I would be seeing in the organization, I would be feeling in the organization, I would be doing in the organization, that all thing makes an HRD climate. So my as an employee, the perception that an employees have about policy, procedure, practice and condition. Now, HRD climate, human resource development climate. When a climate of the organization will be said that it is an human resource development climate. So it is an human resource development climate when in an organization employees are treated as most important asset. There is proper learning facilities, there is communication is open, transparency is there, development is given to the management, there is proper training and development and periodical training and development programs. So all these factors means first is to recognize or help the employees to recognize their strength and weakness, and human resource development climate will always focus on learning. So learning would be done only when an employee knows the strength and weakness of himself. So if I know I am good at with this, I will retain it. If I am weak at certain, I will try to gain knowledge about it. An organization will help me to gain that knowledge through training and development. Creating a general climate. General climate is giving an importance to the employees, treating them as an asset. Collaboration and autonomy, supportive personal policies, collaboration and autonomy. The decisions in the organization have to be made collaboratively together, and autonomy in decision making has to be given to an employees in their daily basis work. Supportive HRD practices, an optimum level of development of climate is essential for HRD activities. So as I explained you, culture creates the climate. This is the explanation for the same. You can just go through this. Now there are three broad categories of HRD climate. So when the HRD climate, when as an HRD climate we talk about, it consists of three things. General climate. So when is the general climate created? The HR or the organization which give an importance to the human resource management or human resource development specifically. So the human resource development is given an importance by top manager or the middle level management. Then it is said to be that a general climate is created. The policies, procedure, when they are created in the support of the HRD, it is called as the general, creating a general climate. Then HRD culture. A climate should have the culture. So every HRD climate would be created only when there is a culture. So the culture also have to be HRD, human resource development culture. Now it is believed the ideal human resource development culture is OCTAPACE culture. Openness, confrontation, trust, autonomy, proactively, authenticity, collaboration, experimentation. We will be studying them in detail in coming slides. Now, there should be HRD mechanism. There should be HRD instrument. This mechanism, this instruments, like along with policies and procedure, it is very important to have the instruments as well, methods as well, mechanism as well, which will actually help to create HRD climate. So this mechanism can be right from performance appraisal, potential appraisal, career planning, performance rewards, feedback counseling, training, employee welfare, and creation of quality work life, job rotation. These all are nothing but the HRD mechanism or HRD method of creating human resource development climate. Now let's understand the OCTAPACE culture. This culture was given by T.V. Rao. What is OCTAPACE culture? A culture which includes ethic, values, belief, attitude, norms, ethos, climate, environment, culture. So all these things are present in a culture, that is an OCTAPACE culture. Now what does this OCTAPACE stands for? So there are 8 dimensions: openness, confrontation, trust, authenticity, proaction, autonomy, collaboration, and experimentation. What is openness? Openness is having a transparency. So whatever is being done in the organization, the same information have to be given to the employees as well. So there should be a transparency environment, transparent environment where employees feel free to talk to the management. They are free to communicate. They are free to share and interact with the higher authority without any hesitation. And the same applies to the feedback coming from the employees and feedback coming from the customer. Because of openness, trust is developed. It directly brings the trust factor between the higher top management and the employees. And this trust factor also, or openness factor only, makes an employee to understand the confidentiality of the things and maintain that confidentiality. So trust will work from both the side. Employer have to share the information, an employee will be keeping that information confidential. When these two things are there, automatically the trust would be there. Then comes confrontation. Confrontation is face to face interaction, facing the problem. Every day within the organization there are number of the problems which are being faced by the employees or the team or the groups. So organization should encourage the people to recognize the problem, bring the problem to the top management, bring the problem and try to come up with number of solutions, alternative solution, rather than running from them. So when you are trying to face the problem, trying to come with the solution, it is called as confrontation. Now what is the outcome of this? When an employee, team or a group is trying to face the problem, it will help the problem solving capacity and clarity of the goals, objective and work between the team discussion, team cohesiveness will increase. Authenticity. So whatever I am saying, whatever organization is saying, the same manner it should do. Means if there is a difference between what I say and what I do, it's incongruency and it's not authenticity. So authenticity is the congruency between what I am saying and what I am doing. So if the manager said if you perform good, you would be getting an incentive, and if they are not giving, means you are not authentic in nature. So authenticity is very important within the organization to have good culture. Proactive. Proactive is something initiation, something which accepts the challenges, something which is ready to accept the suggestion, initiate the new things, come up with new ideas. So proactivity is taking the actions before the problem occur. So that is proactive planning. Pre-decided. Autonomy. Autonomy is the willingness to do something without any fear. So every day, if I am the employee of the organization and every day I'm involved into certain work, and every day I have to go and ask for small things to my manager, it may not give me that satisfaction. But if they have given me an autonomy and freedom to do the work as I like without an interference of upper authority, because there should be certain extent of freedom of doing the work. So if there is an autonomy, automatically the employees will make the mistakes, learn and develop themselves. Collaboration. The common cause. The employees and employer work together to achieve common purpose, so common goal. So there should be a collaboration. The employees' goals, individual goal and organizational goals need to be collaboratively achieved together. Experimenting. This basically encourages innovation, coming up with number of new ideas in order to solve the problem, in order to develop the human resources. So these are the 8 dimensions of OCTAPACE culture. Now what is HRD mechanism, instrument or the subsystem? We studied climate, we studied culture, now we will be studying instrument. So when I say instrument, means how human resource development, by what methods, by what instrument, mechanism, the environment or the HRD climate can be created. So we have performance appraisal, potential appraisal, feedback, training, role analysis, career planning, rotation, quality, reward, and all this. Let's see them one by one. Performance appraisal. Now, how performance appraisal will be helping to have a good human resource development culture or the climate. So let's take and let's understand first what is performance appraisal. Performance appraisal is a mechanism of evaluating the performance of the employees as per the standard. So there are certain standard performance which are allotted to every employee. This standard performance then are actually compared to his actual performance. And if the employee's actual performance are somewhere less than the standard, means there are some loopholes, there are some drawbacks. Finding these drawbacks and taking the corrective actions for the same is the process of performance appraisal. You are trying to appraise the performance of the employee, right? So if the standard, if the person is more than the standard, if he is performing good as like standard, means he would be given incentive, he should be rewarded. But in case if his actual performance is less than what is expected, means there are some loophole, there are some drawback, so corrective actions have to be taken. Performance appraisal try to remove the deficiencies of the performance of employees. So when you are trying to remove the deficiencies of employees, that is, you are providing training and development. And when you are training and developing someone, it is the human resource development. Potential appraisal. Potential. Potential is what I am having, the what I am capable of doing something. Sometime the employees, whatever the work is being allotted to that person, he is capable of being more than that. So identifying those potential, identifying those capability of the employees, abilities of employees, and accordingly training and developing that person. That if the manager or the leader is able to find out a person who is working into the HR recruitment is having a potential to handle all other functions of HR as well. So accordingly, the training and development can be given to this HR and he would be given an opportunity. So identifying the ability and capability for the future requirement is the potential appraisal. It develops or it aims at developing the latent abilities. Latent is hidden. Sometimes there are sudden hidden qualities, sudden hidden talent. Developing them is potential appraisal. Feedback counseling. So when an employee, when the performance, I have done some performance. When I get in feedback on my performance, I would be able to understand what is good, what is bad, where I'm lacking, and so on. So this feedback performance or feedback counseling or career counseling plays a very, very important role in not only strengthening the relationship between employee and employer or subordinate and superior, it also helps to develop the employees because it helps to identify what are my loopholes, right? Training. So training is training the employee for certain specific job, certain specific duty. Training makes employee more efficient. Training makes employee more effective. So when you are making your employees more effective, more efficient, automatically there would be human resource development. Role analysis. Role analysis is finding what is the JS and what is JD, or about job. What is my role all about? So what is my role? What are responsibilities? What is required? What is expected? Everything about the role, that is role analysis. So when I am doing an role analysis, the person is able to understand what kind of level of performance is being expected for him, from him, and what is required. Career planning. So career planning is a process where there is a process where individual tries to understand his interest. After finding where he is interest or his capabilities, he would look for the opportunities related to it and then pursue the career. In the same manner, within the organization, when it comes to the career planning, the employer helps the employee to understand what is his interest area, where he is interested. Once he understands that interest, he will be given an opportunity. He would be educated for the same and given an opportunity. As a result, he would be developed. Job rotation. It increases the scope of the work of the organization. Right now, I am working in HR recruitment. I have been rotated from this recruitment position to operations, from operations, employee engagement, from employee engagement to compensation. So this rotation of the employees increases the scope of knowledge of the employee. It gives him more, better opportunity to learn, more job profile. So automatically, this is a human resource development. Quality circle given by Edward D. Deming 1950. Now, what are quality circles? Quality circle is a group of 8 to 10 people voluntarily coming together. They come together on the weekly basis or the pre-decided time and they try to resolve the issues related to the quality. Is there any issues? How the problems related to quality, how quality can be improved? So that is the quality circle. So when an employees are coming together and solving the issues by themselves voluntarily, they are focusing on developing. So it was first time in Japan introduced the quality circle was Nippon Wireless and Telegram. Reward system. It is believed that compensation or the rewards or money is the most important way of motivating the employees. So when you are having a good reward system, you are giving them normal wages, salaries are good, and over and above them you are giving an incentive, it automatically act as a human resource development. It is considered to be cheapest and the quickest way of increasing the productivity, because when you give good, you pay good, you are able to utilize the person maximum. Organizational development. Human resource development focuses on development of human resource. Organizational development is an organization wide development. It is a planned effort where the management on the top will emphasize on developing or taking the right steps for complete development, overall organization. So if the organizational development is happening, automatically human resource development would happen. Quality of life, work life. So what is quality of work life? It is maintaining the balance between the working life and the personal life. That is, the professional life and personal life have to be balanced. If an employee is all time working in an organization, he is not able to give the time to his family, he would be frustrated. So when he would be frustrated, he would be less effective, less productive. So if you want an employee to be more productive, providing the quality of life is very important. An employee with a balance between personal and the professional life will be productive, will have more time to get into the training and development, more satisfaction, and automatically he would have mental and physical satisfaction, which will lead to more productivity. That is quality of working life. Human resource planning. Human resource planning is pre-deciding the actions. It specifically deals with forecasting of demand and supply of the human resources. So what is the demand? How many quality and what quantity of number of employees I would be requiring in the future? That is your demand. And how I would be making or supplying those openings or requirement, that is supply forecasting. So when demand and supply forecasting is being done, somewhere when internal or external sources are being used for hiring, if it is the internal sources, if you are transferring someone, giving promotion, you automatically require human resource development program to develop him according to the position. So human resource planning is also a human resource development. Recruitment, selection, placement. When you are doing right recruitment, right selection, right placement, as per the experience, as per the JD, the candidate working at the suitable job which with right placement will automatically will be productive in nature. Team building. This is specifically focused on the building the team. So how a employee can work in a team, this is the main focus of the team building. It is a process. It usually consists of the process like process consultation. Team building helps in member to diagnose, group process and devise the solution. Usually this task or teams are created in order to resolve the problems, solve the problems. So hence they are called as to diagnose, or their focus is to diagnose the problem and resolve them, right? So when as a team you are trying to bring the people together in a group task, they develop interpersonal skills, they develop team skills. So automatically it is an human resource development mechanism or the dimension instrument. So we've completed culture and the climate. Now we would be moving to another important topic, which is an HR audit. Now audit and accounting, these are the two topics which confuse the learners. So what is audit? What is accounting? Audit is actually a process of evaluation or analysis of completeness, efficiency, effectiveness. So completeness, whether your human resource practices, policies, procedures are complete or not, are they efficient or not, are they effective or not, especially related to what? Human resource. So HR audit is evaluating and analysis of completeness, efficiency and effectiveness of the human resource policies, functions, practices, process and other relevant metrics like cost per hire, like your recruitment yield ratio, selection ratio. Auditing everything, evaluating everything. It means that as per the standard, I made the standard, are everything going, every method, everything within the HR department is going as per the standard or not? If not, why? So that is the HR audit. So what it is? To identify the lapses and shortcomings and the gap between the implementation of HR function as per the standard which were framed. So the standard which were framed and how they are implemented. Is there any loophole? And if there are, selecting or suggesting the remedial actions for the same. Now this objectives of the HR audit, main objective is to determine how effective the organization or the program has been. Then explanation, if there is a failure, if the system is not working properly, if there is no math, what is the failure, reasons for the failure, and if everything is going good, what steps were taken that it got success to the organization, so that same thing can be retained in the future. Evaluate the implemented policy. Evaluation is checking as per the standard is going on or not. Evaluate the performance of the personal staff. You were given this standard, your performance standard was this, and how did you perform? Are you adhering to policies? Are you compiling to rules or regulations or not? That is employees and staff. And to seek the values, goals, and management philosophy. HR audit also helps to maintain the HR philosophy, HR policies, HR culture within the organization, because it makes clear to the employees that management is very, very clear on its policies and procedure. Now, there are different approaches of HR audit, doing the audit: outside authority, statistical, compliance, management by objective, and comparative. What is comparative? When an auditor audit the policies, procedure, or practices of certain organization with comparison to any competitor. So if I am some company, I am certain product, dealing into product or soap. So if I want to audit my process, when this auditing is being done by a competitive, comparing my process procedure with an competitor's procedure and comparison is being done, you, that means how good उनके कंपैरिजन में हमारा प्रोसेस कितना अच्छा है, कितना बुरा है. That is comparative. So auditor identify any company, usually the competitor's company as model, then the result of the organization are compared with the model of the company. Outside authority. Here the auditor actually uses some of the sets of the standards which are being formed by outside consultants. There are the expert, there are the consultant who frame the standards for the performance of the employee, and auditor try to audit according to this predetermined standards by outside authorities. Statistical. So last year what was my performance and this year what is my performance. So auditor here audits the process policies of the organization or the HR department as per the last performance. Then comes your compliance. The main purpose here is, like, there are number of laws, there are number of legislations, there are the company policies. So whether the HR system or human resource management are compiling with these legislations or not, are they following factories or not, are they following minimum wages act or not, are they compiling to the company's policies or not, कोई घपला तो नहीं है, fraud तो नहीं हो रहा है. So that is the compliance. Management by objective given by Peter Drucker. In this kind of audit, first management and the employee, they come together, they frame the objective or they frame the standard performance. The employee then performs, and employer help or the management help the employee to achieve this objective, achieve the standard. And even after that, if there is any kind of loophole, trying to achieve it, trying to correct it. So that is management by objective. The auditor check the performance of HR personnel against the goals set by the top management. So these are the 5 approaches of HR audit. Now what is the process, how the HR audit would be done? If I have to plan an audit for my organization, what I would do? So first is determining the scope and type of audit. So when it comes to the HR department, it consists of number of department: recruitment, compensation, event management or employee engagement. Then you have training and development. So these are the different department within the HR. So when I start an audit process, first I would try to find out whether I want to do the recruitment audit, whether I want to do the audit in the compensation part. So what is my scope? What is the area I want to cover? And what type of audit it would be? Internal, external, what it would be. Then determining the method. So we will be studying in coming slide what are the different methods of auditing. This may be like observation, this may be like questionnaire. Either the auditor is observing the process, either the auditor has given the questionnaire to the employees to fill. So there can be different methods of audit. Then we have data collection. Very, very important is collecting the data related to what is the current process going on, how it is going on, collecting the information about it. Then setting the standards, whatever the information has been collected, on what basis it would be audited. So there would be certain standard. This standard would be framed by either outside, either the company. Then giving the feedback about the result. One, the comparison is being done. Once the auditing is being done, then the feedback is supposed to be given to an employees, because they should know that what it was expected from them and what they have done, so that proper actions, remedial actions, corrective actions can be taken. If the audit process says that no, there was no completeness, there was no effectiveness, no efficiency in the HR practices, the accordingly the actions would be taken. So this is the complete HRD process. While doing audit HR audit, this process is being followed. So this is a theory which you can go by yourself. I have explained all the things. Now there are different types of audit. So first step of the HR audit process is identifying the scope and the type. So type is how you are, which kind of audit you need. If it is according to auditor, it can be internal and external. Means an internal auditor within the organization, only the higher department or accounts department can do the audit, whereas an external, some expert or external consultant can come and do the audit according to frequency, when and how it is being done. So if it is planned, it can be regular. If it is monthly, if it is 6 monthly, regular hai, upon request. So this kind of audit occurs when there is some kind of scam happening, if there is improvement required, especially to improving the employee's performance, right? If there is any loopholes being found out. So this is upon required, as per the request, upon required. This can be by individual or the employees. They can raise that we need an audit. We don't know whether your management is working properly or not. So we need an audit. So this can be as per upon the request of employees, as per the request of the employer. Goals, according to goals. Compliance. So whether you want to do or check the compliance of legislation policies in this audit, or you are focusing on continuous improvement. What is continuous improvement? So an organization where an audit take place regularly basis, the employees are aware that they would be evaluated. So when they are evaluated on periodically basis, they will improve their performance. Merger and acquisition. A company wants to acquire B company. So A will be acquiring B only when it finds that it is beneficial. So if B is in the losses, if the B is not following any procedures as per the standard, it would be a loss. So before acquiring or merging, doing an audit is an important thing. So this is in details. You can just go through it. Now, another step, first we have to determine scope, type, then we select the method of the audit, right? So what are the method being used by the auditor? First is interview. In this, then is group discussion, observation, questionnaire, analysis of records and document. What is interview? So the auditor comes, and auditor keeps on interviewing the employees either on individual basis, either on the group basis. He would go and interview the person regarding the policies, procedure that they are working into, how, what they understand by policies of the organization, what are their opinion for the future, and this will help the auditor to understand how effective the policies and standards are. Then the group discussion or workshop. So this is an individual where interview is being taken. This is a discussion, a kind of discussion. A topic would be given and they would discuss. So discussion will, or workshop will help the auditor to understand to what level the employees understand the policies and procedure of organization, diagnose the problems in them. Observation. The auditor would merely stand and observe the physical facilities, meeting, discussion. He would go, just stand, and will try to observe how people are working. He will be having a predetermined standard, and as per the standard only he would be observing the people. So this will help to actually reveal the atmosphere of the organization. Analysis of records and document. So you must have, whenever you go for an interview or when you join any organization, the organization asks you to come up with your with your previous employment records, give your educational certificate. So these documents are being kept safely with the employer, right? So during the audit process, this record, now this is only not the joining, other like your compensation detail, like your joining details, every documents or the record are kept properly, and auditor just goes through this analysis and document and does the audit. Questionnaire, there would be a kind of a survey, there would be a questionnaire which is distributed to an employees, and they will fill the questionnaire, and accordingly the auditor will extract the information from the questionnaire. So these are the different method of HRD process, HR audit. Now coming to the HR accounting. Accounting is what was the cost I invested and what is the return. So it is identifying and measuring the data. So it is something quantitative in nature. Data about human resource and communicating the information to the interested party. So if I am investing or 10,000 rupees in an employee, in a salesperson, what return he has given. So whatever investment has been made in the human resources, was it useful? Was it valid? So that is accounting. So it deals with only cost estimation. So process of assigning, budgeting and reporting the cost of the human resources incurred in an organization, salaries, training and development, wages, everything which is cost, about the cost. उसकी ट्रेनिंग में कितना खर्चा हुआ, उसकी सैलरी कितनी जाती है, इंसेंटिव कितना है, बोनस कितना पे करते हैं, तो everything which is related to the cost on the employees, auditing that or keeping an account of that, that is called as an HR accounting. So there are the different definition. This definition was asked in exam. What is human resource accounting? A process of identifying, measuring the data about the human resources and communicating it to the interested party. So when an marketing department wants to understand the sales, let's say there is a salesperson, he gave the sale of 1 lakh rupee. So whether this employee was useful or not, whether valid or not, was it beneficial to hire or not, for that marketing department would require that what was the cost at it he was hired, or what is the salary being the person is receiving. On basis of the cost being invested on him, he would be able to identify that what is the benefit given by the employee. Then according to Ravindra Tiwari, it is an attempt to identify, quantify and report the investment made in human resources in an organization not presently accounted in any conventional accounting practices. Since human resource, human qualities, human abilities are not something physically visible, it is not given in any accounts book. What is the purpose of HR accounting as per Likert? So furnish the cost value information for making the management decision. So when I am hiring certain employee, from the past experience, hiring this category of employee will be useful or not. So making the decisions related to it, it comes from the HR accounting. Allocating, developing, maintaining human resources in order to achieve cost effectiveness. So if there is an employee on whom on to whom 30,000 rupees salary is given, and he is having or he is returning giving, you can say, an 1 lakhs output or profit of 1 lakh, so he can be given more training and development, he can allocate it to different position as well, because he is good productive in nature. Monitor effectively the use of human resource, whether the investment is valid or not. Provide sound and effective basis for human asset control, whether the asset is appreciated, depleted or conserved, whether the over the period of the time the employee is. So now today if I was as an executive, I was able to give lesser output. When I would be an HR manager, I would be giving more output, more return. So if I am giving more return, means I was appreciated, my value was appreciated, increased. So if I am not able to give the same return or more return, it means depleted, means my value has decreased, I have not improved my performance, right? So these are the purpose given by the Likert. Now very very important, there are certain methods of the HR accounting which are divided as cost based model and value based model. Cost based is where everything will be, where the accounting will be done only on the basis of cost, kharcha. Value based, So what value the employee is being added to the organization, that is value based. In cost, we have capitalization of historical cost method, replacement, opportunity, standard cost. In value, we have present value of future earning given by Lev and Seher's model, reward, valuation on group basis, asset multiplier, Herman's model, unpurchased goodwill model, aggregate payment approach. So historical cost approach. What is historical cost approach? This was developed by William C. Pale and assisted by R. Lee Brument and Eric F. Flamhorst in 1967. Name of the authors and the year is important. So what is historical cost approach? This says whatever cost right from the recruitment, training, hiring, developing, everything till date, whatever cost has been invested or incurred on an employee, capitalizing that cost, and till the time period or the till the retirement. So right now what was invested, calculating that, until the retirement of his job of the person from the organization, what all benefit he will be giving to the organization, calculating that. So it is basically first identifying the cost, उसके ऊपर कितना खर्चा हुआ रिक्रूटमेंट से लेके डेवलपिंग या अभी तक का पूरा ओवरऑल, ठीक है, और वो अपने लाइफ टाइम में कितना देकर जाएगा, कितना इन्वेस्टमेंट करवाएगा. सो दैट इज योर हिस्टोरिकल कॉस्ट अप्रोच. इट इज वेरी सिमिलर टू एनी ऑफ द फिजिकल बुक वैल्यू ऑफ फिजिकल. Replacement cost approach given by Renan Slicker. So if this is an employee A, he is going to retire or he has resigned. So we need to have another employee in place of him called B. So in order to replace this employee with a B, what was the cost incurred, what was his training cost, what is the recruitment cost, what is the salary differentiation. So more of what actually replacement cost is there in order to replace one employee with the another, it is called as the replacement cost method. It is more realistic as it incorporates the current value form. Opportunity method or market value method. This is like, let's say there are two employees. Employee A is having the degree of artificial intelligence. A candidate, B candidate. B is only MCA and this is MCA in artificial intelligence. There is a company and this company is right now not dealing with artificial intelligence, but in coming time it is going to expand the business into artificial intelligence. So the company will hire A considering as an opportunity that this person is having the skills MCA as well as artificial, means he is having an alternative use of being used in artificial intelligence in future. So there would be an alternative use, there would be an opportunity. The cost invested on an employee is an opportunity for an organization to gain the profit. So it is given by Heckman and Jose. So usually there would be an opportunity cost for an employee only those who are niche in nature, scarce in nature, means there is no other than him, no one exists like him. So if it is not available, then it is not the opportunity cost, right? So this is usually based on the competitive bidding, like creating a competitive advantage to the organization. Then we have the standard cost approach. This was given by David Watson. What happens here? The employees are divided into certain category or different group depending upon their hierarchy. And on the basis of this category, certain standard cost, or rather you can say a budget, would be allotted, right? Standard cost would be allotted, and then evaluating that what actual cost has incurred on an employee as compared to standard. तो बजट रखा था 10,000 का, लेकिन एक्चुअल में उसको हायर करने के लिए 15,000 लगे. So evaluating this difference is called as the standard cost approach, where a standard cost is fixed for each category and their value is then calculated. So this is the standard cost and what value they are going to be adding. So this usually includes the cost for recruitment, placing, training, developing, per grade. Depending upon hierarchy, it would differ. Depending upon grade, it would differ. Clear? It is the easiest method of implementing the HR accounting. Then coming to value-based model. Discounted present value of future earning. This method of HR accounting says that the moment an employee have joined the organization, so from his present earning, current earning, till the time he would be retiring. So calculating this complete from his present to the future or the retirement, till the retirement time, what adding value he would be given to the organization, what benefit he would be giving to the organization till his retirement age, what return on investment he would be giving to the organization. Calculating that is called as discounted present value of future earning. So it is something similar to that of financial asset, कि आज से लेके जब तक वो खराब नहीं हो जाता, जब तक वो रिटायर नहीं हो जाता, उस टाइम पीरियड तक वो क्या वैल्यू एड ऑन करेगा, दैट इज प्रेजेंट वैल्यू ऑफ फ्यूचर अर्निंग. Reward valuation model given by Flamhorst. This is also called as stochastic reward valuation, SRVM. In this method, the employee HR executive at the position of HR executive, the senior HR executive, assistant manager, manager. So at every role, what value the employee is adding to the organization, that is calculated and it is called as the reward. So what kind of reward the person is adding to the organization in various states or the roles being occupied by him. Hence, this is also called as stochastic process. Now, valuation on the group basis. Here, a group, whether this group or the team is important for the organization or not. Most of the time, this happens in IT. So, IT companies come with the project. Till the time the project is in the company, the team working on this project would be there. As soon as the project is completed, the team are removed. Why the team is removed? Because they are not adding value to the organization now. In the same like in the COVID period, number of the teams, number of the department were closed down. Why they were closed down? Because they were no more adding value to the organization. So valuation on the group basis is estimating the value of the human resources on basis of group. So economic value of group rather than individual. Then human asset multiplier model. Just remember, there is a mathematical formula. This mathematical formula or the average multiplier formula, financial formula, is calculated on the basis of market value of the organization. So right now, what is the organization's value in the market? As per the organization's value would be the value of the employee. So there would be a different multiplier for the different gates of employee. Let's say Google. Google has got more value in the market as compared to any local company. So employees working here would be having more value. So let's say there is a company, let's say Times of India. Okay. Now there is a person having an experience for Google and another person having an experience from XYZ. So they are hiring for some position called software engineer or something like that. So a person with who is working in a Google will be offered more salary than by the Times of India as compared to XYZ company. Reason, this Google is having more value in the market, and this way the value, there would be a financial formula which will help you to understand what is the value of organization, and it will help to understand that what is the value of the humans working there. This is called as the human asset multiplier model. Herman's model of unpurchased goodwill model. This is based upon two things: normal rate of profit and supernormal rate of profit. He said that there are profit being done to an employee. If the organization achieve the normal profit, it means it is easy to calculate. But if sometime organization achieves supernormal profit, this supernormal profit was due to the resources, the human resources who were effective and efficient nature, who created the profit to the organization. So according to Hermans, that human resources, if you want to identify the human value or the value of this human resources, you need to find out the difference between the supernormal profit and normal profit. And if the difference is clear, that difference is nothing but the value of the human resources. Next is adjusted discounted of the future model. This is an extension of this unpurchased goodwill model, where adjustment, so compensation given to the salary, that would be deducted, or on the basis of, you can say, policies, there would be some discounted factor which would be deducted, and then like he may fall ill, so this would be deducted. So that discounted factor of the future earning. Next is aggregate payment approach given by S.K. Chakrabarty. Now what is this? This is similar to the group valuation. According to Chakrabarty, the peoples are not valued on the basis of individual but on the group basis. So it has got these steps. First, the people or the employees would be divided into the groups called managerial and non-managerial. Then average salary for each group would be determined on the basis of tenure of the employment or tenure of the person in the particular job. The value would be assigned, or the group is estimated, the tenure would be estimated, and then value would be added. So it is determined by multiplying the average salary of the group and the average tenure. So let's say A, B, C are two different groups. For A group, the average tenure is 3 years, right? And the salary given to A group people is 30,000. So what is the value of A? 30,000 multiplied by 3. So this is how aggregate value of the group is calculated. Fine. So that is your aggregate payment approach. Then we have 5-dimension model given by Mears and Flower. He calculates the value of human resources on knowledge, skills, health, ability, and attitude. Morris net benefit model. This is like, in an organization, if let's say human resources are adding, one of the human resource employee is adding 10,000 to the organization. In coming time till the next 2 year or 3 year, calculating as per his current 10,000 rupees, current addition or current growth in the organization, some of discounted, right, some of the values would be deducted, and net benefit. So this is like, if I have invested in training, if I have invested in recruitment, then removing the salary, investment, training. So let's say one employee is there, he gave 1 lakh rupees benefit to the organization. Out of 1 lakh, deducting salary, deducting training and development, what net benefit the employee has given, that is the net benefit model. Likert model, Likert has given emphasis on the 3 variables. So these are not that important. Only thing is that you need to remember their names and the author. That is what being asked in exam. So Reynolds has given that there are 3 variable, 3 human variable, casual variable, intervening variable, and end variables, right? So end result variables are dependent upon intervening and the casual variables. So if you are able to identify the intervening variables, you would be able to identify the end variable. Certainty equivalent organ model. This is an extension of your net benefit approach. In net benefit, we do like 1 lakh is the being benefit given by an employee, deducting the training, salary, you get some net benefit, right? But in this organ model, again from this net benefit in coming time, again on this coming time, what would he give? It's not every time important that now if he is giving 1 lakh, in future also he would be giving 1 lakh. There may be some reasons, like he may fall ill, his efficiency may decrease. So this deducting, discounting all this, then getting the value, that is certain there would be certain factor, रिमूविंग दो सर्टेन फैक्टर, दैट इज फॉर श्योर कि ये तो डिडक्ट होंगे ही, ये होंगे ही, उनको डिडक्ट करके जो वैल्यू आती है, that is the value of the human resources, and it is called as certain equivalent model. Fine. So this were the HR accounting. For this video, up till here only. We will be moving to the next part in the next class, next video. Thank you so much.